Hey guys, what's up? Shadowlands back for another video. Today I'm going to be coming back to you with the first of sort of a top 5-ish thing for the week. We're going to be doing a couple of these videos this week, so I hope you guys are looking forward to it. It's going to go on into the weekend. Got some lists for you coming out this week, and then I'll have some theory of everything coming late next week, so that's just what to expect. But going into today's topic, top 5 underappreciated weapons. That's a really long title, and it took me about 20 minutes to figure out how to spell, because I do not know how to use the internet. So first of all, we're going to look at GP weapons. The first one is probably going to catch a lot of you by surprise, but the M4A1 CQBR. Now, a lot of people tend to focus on the M416 series over the M4A1 family, and personally, I'm actually an M4A1 family fan. Now, I do get kind of ticked off when people use the SOP mod. Now, I'm sort of a hypocrite with that because I went and bought it in Perm, but I don't really ever use it, to be honest, and you don't see it in a lot of my gameplays because it's not fun to use for me. I mean, it looks cool, it sounds like a badass, and I mean, just in general, it's an awesome gun, but just not my kind of thing. Next gun up is going to be the TRG-21. Now, this gun I actually like over the 41 variant, similar to how I like the TPG-1 over the TPG-1 Pro. I'm really not good with the TPG-1 Pro, but I am amazing with the TPG-1 for the most part. But the TRG-21 has like this, it just acts like an auto lock-on thing, sort of like the Super Magnum or something, because it very consistently hits. It's about as consistent as the Tango, but it's a more accurate and more common one-shot kill. At a range, it's definitely a more common one-shot kill, and it's easier to aim headshots because it has that higher mag scope. Now, granted, I don't like that as much for quick scope and close range, but I kind of got over it. It's just a great GP weapon to go in comparison with the Tango, so if you're a quick scoping person on Junk Flea, grab a TRG-21 on a Tango and go try your luck. So the next one is one of the most underused weapons in the entire game, but there's a reason it's on one of the most overlooked weapons list here. K7. It's a customizable gun. You can get 33 damage on it. It has a built-in silencer, which is actually incredibly effective as far as silencers in this game go. Has very low recoil, and you can even put a scope on it. It's kind of in comparison to the K1A. The K1A was Combat Arms' very first attempt at trying to make an SMG that was closer to an assault rifle. Now, they came around and did that with the CZ Scorpion Abo 3A1, an incredibly long name SMG later on, but the K7 works really, really well as an SMG variant. So if you were to walk in with the K7 and the K1A, you'd have a pretty good setup. Both of them are customizable, so I'm kind of saying both of them, but I'm really focusing on the K7 when I say top 5 underappreciated weapons. Highly suggest you give the K7 a shot, totally worth it. Next up is one that was actually introduced in the past year or so in Combat Arms, the TriStar Cobra Force Shotgun. Now, I personally think this thing performs even better than an M4 Super 90. I know for one it has better damage drop-off, even if the stats don't quite compare as well as the M4 Super. However, I highly suggest you guys give this a shot, whether it's in a shotguns only match or just some other game. Shotguns usually aren't allowed in games, but when they are, I highly suggest you try out this TriStar Cobra Force. I was really debating this with the M590 CQB for this list because not a lot of people use that gun either, but I highly suggest you try out both guns. They're totally worth it, especially if you're high enough rank to get the CQB. You should definitely give that a shot. Now, the number one on the list for this week is the M99-2. It's a sniper rifle, not almost ever used really because the M99 series is considered to be an awful series, mostly because of the Big Shot, and the Big Shot is like a big belly flop on Nexon's part. But the M99-2 is probably one of the best snipers in the game. What the Tango is for quick scoping, the M99-2 is for camping. It's basically an M107 that has faster spread recovery, a more consistent one-shot kill, and only one level of scope. However, it does also sport that really high fast fire rate that most semis typically have. It's not quite as fast as like the M110 SAS, but it does feel faster than the M107 from what I can remember. Also, it does have much faster spread recovery, although the overall spread is bigger than the M107 by a noticeable amount, which is what distinguishes it from the other guns. Now, quickly jumping into NX, I'm not going to go into his big labels on this just because it's a little more obvious. First off is the Carbon 15. Very fast fire rate for an assault rifle, one of the fastest in the game, if not the fastest, at 78, I do believe the stat is, so it tends to perform more like an SMG, which is really nice. Love the gun a lot. It's basically an M416 with an incredibly high fire rate, and relatively low spread for the kind of recoil it actually has, so it's a very effective weapon. The only downside is that the damage drop-off is not the greatest in the world, so if you're looking at close-range assault rifle use, Carbon 15s can be your way to go. Next up is the M200 Gile, a customizable sniper rifle. Did the review on this a while back, it's been a few months now. Definitely a great gun to check out because it is one of the biggest jumps in, like, productivity when you jump up from the GP variant to the NX variant. The increases I go over in the actual review, I highly suggest you check it out. But I don't think there's another gun in the game that gets as big of an increase from the GP variant to the NX variant as the M200 Gile gets. Between the Gile, the extra shots, the better damage drop-off, and all this stuff, the silencer, tons of stuff, and I go into a lot more of it in the actual review. Highly suggest you check it out. Next up is the Kel-Tec KSG. What would a Shadowlands review on top 5 guns be without a Kel-Tec KSG? Because that is my #1 shotgun that I use. A lot of you guys seem to carry that in the game, and you're like, what kind of crack is he smoking? Where can I get some? But Kel-Tec KSG, one of the best shotguns in the game. Anyone who's played Modern Warfare 3 knows this shotgun very well. It's one of the first ones in the game that you get before the SPAS 12, especially in survival anyway. Kel-Tec KSG, huge amounts of ammo, more than the maxes, better damage than the maxes at actual close range. It is a more consistent spread, doesn't jump up so much when you actually shoot, not necessarily comparing to the maxes on that, just in general for shotguns, very, very low recoil. Has a slower fire rate, definitely than the maxes for one, but it has very high damage, and the damage drop-off isn't bad at all. It's about that of the Jackhammer, so pretty consistent damage, lower spread, and very fast reload even for a shotgun, so that's really nice. And the massive magazine capacity, 14 with 28 shots in spare, is absolutely ridiculous. You're getting a total of, what, 42 shots out of that? So if you can't kill, like, 20 people with 42 shots, you got something else wrong with you. It's a shotgun. Next up is the SG-556 Mark II, my most advertised assault rifle in the game. I heavily compare this to the M416 and M4A1 variants for that matter. SG-556 Mark II, fantastic weapon. I have so much commentary on it, I really don't want to go into it here. Just take my word for it. Maybe go watch the review on it. Next up, coming #1 this week, is the WA 2000 Tactical. I actually am kind of angry that Nexon has this available just for purchase. However, I'm happy that people haven't really gone to look at it. Now, I'm obviously kind of wasting that moment here when I say, oh, it's a great gun. Well, it's horribly underappreciated because it's basically the DSR-1 Tactical that doesn't unscope and actually has a higher magnification scope, making it more useful at longer ranges. On top of that, it does have a faster fire rate, which is really, really nice. The spread recovery is about the same. However, the damage drop-off is actually better than the DSR-1 Tactical, in my opinion. It's a more consistent one-shot kill. However, it doesn't have the higher damage at close range, which means it can tank very occasionally, like 1 out of like 100 shots will tank. Where the DSR Tactical, I don't really ever have that problem at pretty much any range. So basically, it's a DSR Tactical you can buy for NX, and all you need are the 20 reflex pallets. Quick runners-up, and I'm not going to go into these, the Remington 1187P, shotgun that I also advertise a lot with the Kel-Tec KSG. Next up is the M14 SE and the Hunter, basically assault rifle, sniper rifle things that are just absolutely amazing. I suggest you just go check the reviews out. It's hard for me to describe that here very quickly. And finally, last runner-up is a FAMAS G2. It's basically a better version of the M416 CQB. It's the same gun, except it has a silencer built in, which means you don't lose the damage, and it has an actual NX scope on it, which is better than what they already give you, the iTech. At least in my opinion, I prefer it, which is why I bought it from Perm. But that's all I really have to say, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit longer than usual, but thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Definitely check out the Facebook group below. We're getting a lot of new members recently. Really happy about that. So I will see you guys in the next video. Shadowlands out.